cross between a snake and a tortoise. Its head was small, its neck was long, its nose looked like a turtle's, and its tail was short. It was very big, so it probably moved very slowly. There were two types of plesiosaur. Some had long necks, and others had short necks. Lived 200 million years ago, and is one of the first dinosaurs that was discovered by man. Its body was huge, and it got very hot in the summer. In the dry season, when there was less food, Platosaurus would walk across the desert to the seas. They would walk in groups to the seaside. They would get very hot and very thirsty. So if a Platosaurus dinosaur got lost along the way, they would die. Oraptor was one of the most common dinosaurs. It was a very early dinosaur, which lived in the Triassic period. Oraptor was discovered in 1993. It was found in South America, Argentina, in a desert.
The Stork Asaurus lived during the late Triassic period in what is now present-day Brazil, and is one of the earliest dinosaurs that is known. In 1970, when it was first described, it was still very rare to find dinosaur fossils in the southern hemisphere, and so the Storkosaurus, being found only in the southern hemisphere, was named after something else only seen in the south: the Southern Cross star constellation. The Southern Cross constellation also appears upon the national flag of Brazil. When it was discovered, there was no complete Storkosaurus fossil to be found, and what was found was only the spine, hind legs, and large lower jaw. Because of the incomplete skeleton, it was impossible to determine whether the Southern Cross lizard was of the theropod or sauropod order. Its body is about 2 meters in length, and its hind legs are long and slender. From its appearance, it is evident that the Storkosaurus was a swift runner, and that it ran upright on 2 legs. The Storkosaurus was a carnivore, and carnivorous dinosaurs that appeared later had only 3 toes on their hind feet, while Storkosaurus likely had 5. It also had a relatively large head, and his jaw was full of sharp, dagger-like teeth, further proof that Storkosaurus was a meat-eater. Introduction. Melanosaurus had a large body with thick and robust limbs that suggest that it walked on all 4s. The Melanosaurus's 4 limbs are all massive and weighty, and its vertebrae were hollow to reduce weight, much like other sauropods. To this day, no one has discovered a fossilized Melanosaurus skull. As an early sauropod, The Melanosaurus's head was probably quite small, while its limbs were thick and its tail long. Why the Melanosaurus evolved to have such a large body might have been to help protect it against predators.
Dilophosaurus lived 165 million years ago and probably lived on the shore next to the sea or lakes. It was very good at hunting, but did not hunt in a group, because this would have meant they have to share their meat. Dilophosaurus lived around 200 million years ago. It lived during the early Jurassic period, and it was a meat-eating dinosaur. Kentrosaurus and Stegosaurus lived at the same time and belonged to the same family of dinosaurs. Kentrosaurus was a little bit smaller than a rhino and was the smallest member of the Stegosaurus family. Kentrosaurus ate small plants which grew on the ground. It walked around on its four short, thick legs. It was probably hunted by Allosaurus and other dinosaurs like Allosaurus. Brontosaurus is one of the most well-known dinosaurs. It used to be called Brontosaurus. The Apatosaurus weighed more than 30 tons. It was 23 meters long. Its neck was 6 meters long, and its tail was about 9 meters long. The Apatosaurus spent most of its time on flat land or in the forest, usually in a group. Parasaurolophus was discovered in Canada in 1922. Parasaurolophus was similar to Hadrosaurus. Parasaurolophus was a large dinosaur which ate plants. It could walk on 2 or 4 legs. Fossils of its skeleton, the head of a young Quetzalcoatlus was a meter long. Its wingspan could reach 5.5 meters. An adult Quetzalcoatlus's wingspan measured 11 to 15 meters. It was probably the world's biggest flying creature. This huge crawling and flying animal was a scavenger, which meant it would eat the corpses of dinosaurs on the ground.